Hey, what's up everybody? It's Frick, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Samsung Gear VR. I just recently purchased a Samsung Galaxy S7, and this guy came with it, so I thought I would do a little unboxing and a review. Now, as you may have noticed, VR is getting really, really big this year. The Oculus Rift is set to launch next week. The HTC and Valve Vive is coming out later in the year. And yesterday, actually, pre-orders opened on the new PlayStation VR, which I actually pre-ordered. I'm most excited about the PlayStation 1. I'm a big PlayStation fan, and I have a feeling that it's going to be really good. So I put my pre-order down on that yesterday. It's not coming out until October, I guess. So something like this is going to have to hold me over. Now, I will let you know right off the bat, I don't have much VR experience. I did purchase a Google Cardboard, and so that's pretty much where my experience is limited to. I've read a few things today actually comparing the two. So that's my only experience. So I'm going to do my own comparison between Google Cardboard and the Samsung Gear VR. But first, let's do a quick unboxing and see what's inside. Sorry, it's going to be hard to do with one hand, as always. But oh, let's take a look at the outside of the box, I guess. First, you've already seen this. As it says, it's powered by Oculus, Samsung Gear VR. And it says compatible with the Note 5, S6 Edge Plus, S6, and S6 Edge. And obviously also with the S7 and S7 Edge. Hopefully, anyway. I'm sure they wouldn't have given it to me with the S7 if it wasn't compatible. But here's the back. Has some health and safety warnings here. I guess children under the age of 13 should not use it. You can see some French, the French translation as well. And just some different features of the Gear VR. Nothing on that side, nothing on that side. So let's open this up and see what we got inside. I'm sure there's plenty of unboxing videos on this already. It has been out for a couple months now. Alrighty, let's take a look. So, here we are. So you see the headset itself. Oh, crap. Fell it. We have the user guide. It's actually quite thick. Oh, there's two. So I'm assuming an English one and a French one. Right here is what looks like to be the strap that goes around your head. And the unit itself. Got some plastic up there. Alright, so here it is. The Gear VR. There's our lenses. Looks like there's some nice padding around the outside. That's the disadvantage of the cardboard units. And I'm not talking... I did own the actual cardboard. So just the actual unit that was made out of cardboard. But I also owned another one that was made by Viewmaster. So the same company who made the old Viewmaster toys with the little round discs that you would put in and you would click them on the side and it would bring up the pictures. They actually made a variation of Google Cardboard, a little more sturdy plastic, and yeah, so it worked a lot better. That's the one I have, and at the end of this video I'll show you both units and when I do my comparison there. But there is the unit itself, still wrapped in plastic. I guess that's it for the unboxing. There's nothing much else in there, so I'm going to give it a try with my new S7, see what it's like, and I'll come back with my thoughts. So, talk to you later. Alright guys, I'm back. So it's been 3 days since I did that the first part of that video where I did the unboxing and a general overview of the gear. And I think I'm ready to give my final verdict and compare it to the Google Cardboard. Let me just tell you right off the bat, they are a lot different There's a big difference. I'll get into some of them in a second, but if you are looking to get into virtual reality at all, and you're not sure if you want to step up to the more expensive options like the Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive or the PlayStation VR, let me tell you that the Samsung Gear is the way to do it. Like I said before, the price is really, really good. Um, Anywhere from $99, that would be 150 Canadian dollars, or in some cases you can get it free with your phone. So that's an awesome option. It works really, really well. But let me get into that a little bit more later. So price again, 99 USD, 150 Canadian. The Google Cardboard, like I mentioned, this is the ViewMaster version. There are a ton of these things, different variations that you can get out there. They all work generally the same. Google's original cardboard version is in fact just a piece of cardboard. They usually run for around 20 bucks. This one here was 35 Canadian, and I got it at my local Best Buy store. And one thing you'll notice right off the bat, now this is a lot smaller. It's comfortable, but it's a lot smaller than the Gear VR is. You can see that right off. Well, from this angle it does look bigger, but let me tell you that the viewing space is much smaller. I cannot fit my head into this one when I'm wearing my glasses. Whereas the Gear VR is absolutely no problem. They all work generally the same. Like I said, this is where your phone goes. You just kind of attach it in between. Because this one is made for the iPhone and pretty much any Android phone, well, not pretty much every, but quite a few different phones, it is adjustable. So it adjusts to your phone. You just sort of place it in there and snap your phone in. Same with the Gear. If I take off the front face plate, you put your phone in here as well. The difference is that it attaches via USB, and then it has a separate clip over here that clips your phone down, holds it secure and in the correct position. So it gives you the best viewing angle possible. I'll just leave that off there. Another thing you'll notice here right off the bat is, snap that, is that the Gear has a head strap, and a full head strap keeps it snug on your head. It's completely adjustable, and it keeps it comfortable. You'll also see some padding around here as well, which makes it nice and comfy as well. This, as you can see, does not have a head strap. I've seen a couple cardboard units that come with a head strap. It's usually just this piece here that goes around the back. But honestly, it's because the cardboard is not meant to be used for any long period of time. Either is the Gear VR really, but definitely a lot more use out of this than you'll get out of this. This is, like I say, an intro to VR. Some people I've read online, I've read reviews of the cardboard, and some people are saying it's actually hindering the VR market. It's kind of ruining it, if you will, just because it is, well, it's pretty cool, but it's just not the full experience that you're going to get with this or with the other models that are coming soon. So that's another big difference between the two. Something else I'll mention is the button layout and some of the other things that these have. So on any cardboard, you will have one button or switch. On the cardboard units themselves, it's like a little magnet that you can click almost. With this one, it's you just go like that. It's, I guess, you know, going back to the old ViewMaster days. This is the ViewMaster brand, and they had the little clicky thing where it had the little spinning disc in it. Remember, it would go around and have pictures. For those of you who are grew up in the 80s, early 90s, that's what ViewMaster was all about. On the Samsung Galaxy Gear VR, it is a completely different ball game. First of all, you can't really see it here, but there is a volume up and down here. So you have volume up, volume down. You have a full directional. It's like a touchpad basically. They're not actual buttons. They go by your touch, and a back button as well. So it gives you a lot more options on the screen. Plus, because it has a headset or a head strap, and you don't need to hold it with your hands, there's plenty of apps on the Oculus App Store that you can use a controller with, a Bluetooth controller that you would connect to your Android phone. So that's another big difference. Let's talk about the apps actually, now that we're on that topic. There are over 200 apps for Google Cardboard. Those apps are found individually directly in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. The apps for the Gear VR are completely closed environment. They are in the Oculus app, which you cannot get unless your phone is connected via USB. You can also not open it unless your phone is connected via the USB. And everything, all the apps for that are right in that one app. Actually, I recorded a video of what I was doing. So just give you a brief overview of what's going on here. So we have our library of the apps that we've already downloaded. And as you can see, I've downloaded a few. And then if we go over to the store, you'll see that there are a ton of apps for the Samsung Gear VR as well. And when you go to any of these apps, when you click on one of them, it'll give you the rating, obviously, of the app, of how other people have rated it. It'll also give you something that I think is cool. It'll also tell you how comfortable people are with the app as far as motion sickness goes. And although they are improving or preventing or trying to prevent motion sickness as much as possible, there are a few apps that did give me quite a bit of motion sickness. I'm not usually the person, like I go on a lot of theme park rides and I'm not usually the person to get motion sickness, but I did one of the apps which was one of the roller coasters from Six Flags, and it made me quite dizzy. As well, there's another app there you might have saw it in my library, the Temple Run VR app, which looks absolutely beautiful, but again, it is one of the apps that it goes up and down and left and right. It can give you a little bit of motion sickness as well. Okay, so let's talk about one of the other apps for the Gear VR, and that is Netflix. And honestly, I found Netflix to be the coolest app on here. It didn't really show off the true potential of the Gear, but it was just a really cool idea. And what it does is it basically simulates you sitting on a couch in a nice log cabin, it looks like. You can look all around. There's posters on the wall. There's windows. And basically you're sitting in front of a big screen TV. And you make your selections of what movie you want to watch, just as if you were sitting at home looking at your TV. This is a great alternative option if, like for example, I was laying in bed and I don't have a TV in my bedroom. I just have a TV in my man cave in my living room. So if I did want to, just lay in bed and simulate watching on a big screen, it's a great option. If you really wanted to, you could probably wear it in the bathtub. Of course, the Gear itself is not waterproof, but the phone is, so you don't have to worry. The S7 is anyway. The Galaxy S7 is waterproof, so if it does fall out of the Gear, you don't have to worry about that. But it's another option. Just a really cool feature is the Netflix app. Going from the Netflix app, another app that I got was it's called Ocean Rift, and it's just basically a scuba diving simulator. It allows you to basically look all around as if you were underwater. You can choose what animals you're surrounded by. In this case, I chose dolphins. It looks really cool. The head tracking is really good, and it does a really good job at simulation. Another fish app I got was called Bait, I think. And Bait is basically just a fishing app. It allows you to cast a rod and try and catch fish using your head motion to aim, and also using the touchpad on the side to reel in the fishing rod. So really cool app as well. And I didn't quite get a chance to demo all of them, but there's another one on there called Milk VR. It's basically a video app. It just videos from around the internet that are available in VR. Anything from tourist attractions to the NBA All-Star game was on there. The dunk competition was on there to watch in VR. So just a cool selection of videos that if you want to watch as well. So yeah, talking about the apps, like I say, lots of apps for this, quite a few apps for that. These are all available individually. So what Google has done is they've kind of opened up their software, and anybody can kind of basically publish an app on the App Store or the Google Play Store for this. They all work independently, whereas this, it's all in a closed environment. and all available in the Oculus store and through the Oculus software. So that's the difference there with the App Store and how you get the apps for each one. Overall, I'm not going to spend much more time on this, but the main difference you're going to find is obviously the visual quality of the Oculus apps are better. The head tracking is the biggest thing, in my opinion, the biggest difference between the two, and the latency. Everything is just so smooth. It's natural. When you look around with the Samsung Gear VR, it moves exactly in the direction you're looking. Whereas, although the cardboard does the same, I find it's a little slower because it's solely relying on the gyroscope in your phone. Whereas the Gear VR not only relies on the gyroscope in your phone, but it also has its own built-in head tracking movements. And when the Oculus, the Vive, and the PlayStation VR come out, which all use some sort of external tracking as well, you can only imagine that it's going to get better from there. So guys, final verdict. If you're looking for something to get into the VR, of course you are going to pay a little bit more for the Samsung, but honestly, it is worth it. If you just want something maybe to show your mom or dad, or kind of show off the technology, this would suffice. But honestly, I showed this to my dad, and I showed the Gear to my dad about 3 weeks later, and he was very impressed with the Gear, and he was a lot more. He's not into technology at all, but he was very surprised and impressed with the technology behind the Gear VR. So again, if you're willing to spend the money, definitely go with the Gear VR over the Google Cardboard alternatives. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. And I can't wait to get my Oculus and my PlayStation VR, and when I do, I will do a video review and unboxing of those too. All right, have a good night, guys.